to do this program because it is a lot more important than you think. Inside the Charisma Series program reward path, you're gonna find 4 standard packs, 8 diamond duos packs, 15,000 experience, which is more than halfway to the unlimited wheel spin, 4,500 stubs, 10 Charisma Series players, all which, as you can see, are non-sellable and all belong to set 1 as well, which is pivotal for that set 1 collection, as we are getting closer to being able to collect 140 cards, all non-sellable. There are 3 task categories to complete this program, and you must do all 3 in order to get to 100 program points. Inside of the missions, we have 10 missions, all worth 4 program points. Inside of the moments, we have 10 moments, all worth 3 program points. And then inside of the showdown, we only have to do it once. It is worth 30 program points. I must say, I was very shocked to see that Tally PXP with Charisma Series players only gave you 4 program points. Usually, this kind of mission gives you the most out of all the missions available. Before we dive into the path to completion, let me remind you to hit that like button, red subscribe button, notification bell, aiming for 30,000 subscribers before the start of summer. Inside the description, the Twitch, stream at 4 and 10 p.m. Eastern, Discord, social medias, and how to become a member. We're going to be doing these together. Our first step is going to be the moments. With moments, we are going to get 30 total program points, which will allow us to receive at least 3 out of the 10 Charisma Series players. Our first moment is to tally a base hit with Josh Harrison. If you struggle to hit with zone, just switch to directional. Getting a base hit with a pitcher throwing pitches right down the middle should not be difficult. Don't get yourself kicked out after completing each moment. Instead, head towards the main screen of MLB The Show 23. Go into the quick play category and select moments. Inside of moments, select other programs into Charisma Series, and you'll be able to do these moments non-stop without ever having to leave the screen. So all we need to do is get the base hit, and there's a righty on the mound, so that makes it easier. Directional could also be used here. Look how easy that was. With this Joe Kelly mission, we only have this inning to get all 3 strikeouts. So as soon as you give up a ground out or a fly out, just restart, because it is no longer possible for you to get 3 strikeouts. To make this mission a whole lot easier, what you can do is you can head into control for defense, and at pitching interface, change it to classic. That way it's a whole lot easier for you not to pay attention and just throw pitches as fast as possible. You don't need to walk the first hitter with Joe Kelly because Joe Kelly already throws from the stretch. If it was a pitcher that did not throw from the stretch and had a long delivery, there I would suggest walking the first hitter. To get the strikeouts, honestly, you can try to blow fastballs past them, or you can throw off speeds in the dirt. Just make sure you're always mixing your pitches. In Andrew Chaffin's moment, we only need to strike out 2 instead of 3, so you can give up a ground out or a fly out and still get the moment done. You only have this half to pitch. Now, I want you guys to keep something in mind. As you can see, as soon as you switch to classic pitching, it automatically makes it the default pitching for each and every single game mode. So as soon as you're done doing the moments and you head towards online or even mini seasons, let's say, and you don't want to pitch with classic anymore, make sure you change it in your default settings or enter into a moment really quickly and change the setting from classic all the way back up to pinpoint or pure analog, whatever you use. That way it will become your default setting again. With Ozzy Albies, all we need to do is get an extra base hit. Keep in mind that the hitting interface, if you switched it to directional, works just like the pitching interface. So if you do not want to use directional when you head towards online gameplay, then make sure you hop into a moment and switch it back to your default setting, or go to the settings tab and switch it back. That way you're not playing with directional inside of Battle Royale. And look at that, as we were speaking, Josh Naylor is going to give us our first home run moment to complete. You can power swing if you want. I would always use normal swing unless normal swing just isn't working. If you're ever at a 3-0 count inside of a moment and you need to do something offensively, not get on base, make sure you swing even if it is a ball. That way you give yourself an opportunity to stay alive in the at-bat and complete the moment just like I did. We need to get an extra base hit with the cheeseburger man over here. Let's see if we can do it. Daniel, Oppo Taco, it doesn't matter if it is not a home run. It was not going to be caught. O'Neal Cruz tally a hit. I would love it if MLB The Show made the majority of the hitting moments just tally a hit. That would be gorgeous for me, even though that's a line out. Is that one leaving? Not the way the outfielder is running. Oh, it is. I tell you this all the time. Walk the first hitter so the pitcher is no longer pitching from the windup, especially if all you have to do is get strikeouts. As you can see, now he's pitching from the stretch. He pitches a whole lot quicker from the stretch. Yes, there is a runner on base, so we have a risk of giving up some runs. But you should be able to get yourself the 6 strikeouts before you give up enough runs for the Seattle Mariners to say, hey, Luis, that is enough for you. I've already taken a sneak peek. We have 5 strikeouts. I know that the next moment is going to be a hitting moment, so I will revert back for my final strikeout to the usual pitching interface that I use. That way I do not forget and go into a ranked game or any game inside of Diamond Dynasty with classic pitching. Marcus Semien, we need to tally 4 total bases. What do I always say? If you do not get 2 total bases in your first at bat, restart it, baby. Why? Because it is unlikely that you hit a home run in the future. So get 2 total bases. Once you do, then I have heard that the Charisma Series Showdown only has 1 left-handed pitcher. The rest are right-handed pitchers. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna make sure we emphasize on picking up power versus right, but because we know that there is going to be a lefty eventually, we also want to look out for some hitters that have great numbers against both sides. But prioritize contact and power versus right above all. And lefties, of course, are going to do an even better job for you because it's a lot easier to read pitches from a lefty than it is from a righty on righty situation. Live series players always check inside edge so you know which player has the best numbers. In this case, it is going to be Ronald Acuna Jr. And here we're gonna take the lefty despite him not having the best numbers. And if you ever get a supercharged player, do not look back. Just go ahead and pick him up. If you are someone that waits for 2 strikes, then exit velocity boost and 2 strike counts will be good for you. If you're someone that's not a good bunter, then the bunt cheese might be good for you as well. In terms of the silver perk, since we're playing all of these games past the 9th inning in extra innings basically, you always want to make sure you get whichever perks are always active past the 7th inning and equip the perks and play your players out of position in order to have the best lineup possible. Whenever you have beat one of the showdown bosses, instead of drafting, go ahead and see who you're facing next. I'm facing Brian Wilson. It is going to be a tied game and I need to take the lead before there are 8 outs. So knowing that I'm facing Brian Wilson, that's gonna go ahead and lead me to picking someone that is great against right-handers in both contact and power. If I struggle righty on righty, then I take Ozzie Albies. But because I don't, I will take Eloy Jimenez. You do not want rally time as the perk here because the game is tied. Instead, you will take hero time because the game will be placed in the 7th inning or later. Make sure to activate your perks as well as put your players into the game. Showdown versus Max Scherzer, you are down 1. The leadoff hitter is hitting. Stack your lineup with power versus right, all lefties if you have to. As you can see, we have both hero times activated. If we wanted to have all 3 perks activated, what we would do is we would wait until we have 2 strikes. Once we have 2 strikes, we become hitters and our exit velo boost is stacked up to 3 times. I wasn't going to wait although. He gave me one right down the middle and I had to do it to him. This is the last time I will show you this, but rinse and repeat the same process. Next up is versus Nen. We are trailing by a run with a runner on first. We need to take the lead before recording an out. So what are we gonna do? We are facing a right-hander again. We love Rafael Devers and we love Jeff McNeil. What does Jeff McNeil have better than Devers? Oh, bunting. And there's a runner on first. So what would be great for us to do? bunt the runner over to second base. So we're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that Jeff McNeil is the first hitter and he's the one to bunt him over. None of these perks are really that great, especially if you're waiting for 2 strikes. So do not equip a perk that is a higher tier if it does not benefit you. So your leadoff hitter is going to be the one hitting versus Nen, and on first base is actually going to be your 6th hitter. So make sure you put someone with speed to hit at number 6. Bunting here, you are going to put your right analog stick towards second base, and that is going to help your bunt tremendously. You might even be able to bunt for a single. We need to take the lead all though. So if I hit a base hit here, I would not send Eloy Jimenez home. Instead, I would keep him at third, keep Juan Soto at first, and then with my 4th hitter, I would try to bunt over Juan Soto to second base. So I have 9 outs to score 2 runs, and now with 2 strikes, all of my perks are active. If in your drafts, you get hero time 3 times, you get the silver, gold, and diamond version of hero time, you do not need to add any more perks. You will keep these 3 perks for the remainder of your entire run because they will be active at all times. Versus Hunter Green, we are down 2, we have 15 outs. Hunter Green is more of a wild pitcher. We don't have down but not out anymore, so we don't have to wait for 2 strikes. But I would advise you to wait for 2 strikes because it depletes his energy, and he's also a wild pitcher. So maybe you get some base on balls, and then with 2 strikes, you just become a hitter and look to either get on base or do some big time damage in order to win this game. I wish I was still recording. You guys would have loved what just happened. I just bunted a runner in, right? And got a base hit out of it with Marcus Semien. Now, trailing down 1, in order to win this, I am going to bunt with Eloy Jimenez and move the runners into scoring position. Keep in mind, don't leave the bunt there if it is not going to be a strike. Only leave the bunt there if it is going to be a strike. Now we have 2 runners in scoring position and 10 outs to drive them in. We now face Bumgarner. Inside my draft, I made sure that I picked up Wander Franco because Wander Franco is great against lefties. Now, in terms of my lineup, I will fix it. That way we have great contact and power numbers versus left. I will even be bringing Acuna back inside my lineup in exchange for one of the lefties. This showdown versus Kelly might be the most difficult one out of all of them. We're tied, 6 outs remaining, and we need to take the lead. Load up your lineup with power versus right-handers, especially with all the lefties you have that crush righties. Another big piece of advice, if you have someone that's slow on the base paths, let's say they get to first base, put in a pinch runner or have a pinch runner ready with speed. That way you can bunt that runner over to second base and have 5 outs remaining, bunt him over to third base, and now you have 4 outs remaining to hit a sac fly. I guess they're one-upping one another. The showdown versus Chaffin. We are trailing by 1 and we need to take the lead before recording 3 outs. Put those right-handed hitters that are great against lefties at the top of your lineup. Also, speed kills, so have a pinch runner available just in case you need them and be ready to bunt runners over. Never got the perk, but there is a perk called Clear for Takeoff that is also really good, and you would replace the silver hero time with. That perk allows your normal swings to always have exit velo boost. So who are we facing at the end? Luis Castillo, right-handed pitcher. Put all of your top power versus right hitters inside the lineup, prioritize left-handed hitters, and then all you need to do is score 3 runs. So everything we've talked about already, bunting runners over and everything, you're gonna put all of that into practice and beat Luis Castillo. We're now at 60 out of the 100 program points needed. We're gonna do the same thing and add these players to the squad. Once you have the 6 players from the program inside your squad, you are going to fill the rest of your squad with the other charisma players that you have, and you should have a ton of charisma series players if you've been working on team affinity. So once you have a team full of these charisma series cards, you are either going to go into offline game modes, which includes mini seasons, conquest or play versus CPU, and grind the PXP that way. The classic mode way is going ahead and playing on veteran difficulty at either a custom stadium or course field or Shieldwoods Park, because those are the ones with the highest elevation, and tallying 50 total bases while starting one of the relievers that you need PXP for inside the program. You can do the same thing in Conquest, and you can do the same thing in Play versus CPU. That way, not only are you going to be working on tallying PXP with those specific players, but also tallying PXP as a whole with Charisma Series players. Now, if you want to take this online, unfortunately, it's going to be difficult for you to do it in Battle Royale. It's a lot easier for you to do it inside of Ranked. Just take a team full of Charisma Series players, but you're usually not going to want to start the relievers and put them out there for as long as they possibly can go. So instead, what you can do is you can head into the Moonshot event and work on the hitters there. When it comes to pitchers, just go into single player modes, play versus CPU, and then just grind out the innings, filling up the team with Charisma Series players and just bunting each and every single time you hit, except when it's those players in specific you need the PXP missions for. You continue accumulating players, you will replace players with the ones that now you need to complete specific missions for until you get 100 program points and allow yourself to obtain Luis Castillo and lock all of them in instantly into the set 1 collections as you get closer to 140 total cards for Chipper Jones, Babe Ruth, or Pedro Martinez. If you did end up enjoying today's content, hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, aiming for 30,000 subscribers before the start of summer. Have a blessed day and night. Stay positive, stay safe, stay blessed. Inside the description is the Discord, social medias, how to become a member, Twitch, where we stream at 10 p.m. and 4 p.m. daily. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.